no. Angel Reese. She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on?
Angel Reese has once again bailed on the Chicago Sky. No heads up, no excuses, just a flat-out walkout. Fans are livid, teammates are shell-shocked, and the fallout is messier than a reality TV meltdown. The question now, is this the collapse of her WNBA career or the setup for her wildest stunt yet? What went down behind closed doors is nothing short of jaw-dropping, and you're not ready for it.
Wants to know. The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, as Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world...
Angel Reese walking out on the Chicago Sky is about as predictable as the sunrise. I said this weeks ago, but now everyone's acting like it's the sports scandal of the century. Let's be real, this isn't shocking. This is classic Angel. She thrives on attention but dodges the grind. She's not chasing rebounds or sacrificing for wins. She's chasing cameras, hashtags, and headlines. The moment the game demands real sweat, she vanishes, quicker than a shaky free throw in crunch time.
I find it very symbolic, very almost funny but not funny. Not funny haha, but funny sad, that out of all the bodily injuries that Angel Reese, a player, could experience, she's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back, being that floor general and that floor leader? Did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
This whole Rookie of the Year debate between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Please, that was never a contest. It was close only in the same way I'm close to owning a $20 million mansion. Pure fantasy cooked up by people desperate for a storyline. The media milked it because drama sells, and Clark winning in a landslide doesn't drive clicks. The truth, Reese stayed in the conversation not because of her game, but because she's a headline machine. She's loud. She's flashy. She keeps the internet buzzing. But the tape, the stats, they weren't shouting greatness. They were quietly suggesting, maybe next year.
Listen, everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was.
And you know who I hold responsible for this circus? Everyone who kept inflating Angel Reese like she was rewriting basketball history while doing the bare minimum. Every commentator who sold a garbage time double-double as some once-in-a-generation performance. Every fan who confused a few poses and side-eye with actual leadership. You fed the hype machine until it needed its own jersey number. You turned ordinary effort into a Hall of Fame highlight, and now the Chicago Sky are paying the price. Hand the keys to someone who never wanted to drive, and don't act surprised when the whole season ends up stranded in a ditch.
Did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark. But did we forget that Caitlin Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose and you have an opportunity to sit back and reflect, there's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize how the insults against you have been so...
Chicago isn't home for Angel Reese. It's just Maryland 2.0. Another flashy layover on her never-ending Look at Me tour. She's already scouting for her next LSU, a roster that's stacked, seasoned, and ready-made so she can parachute in, let the grinders take the hits, and then strike a pose for the victory parade. That's her entire playbook. Skip the groundwork, dodge the blueprints, and move straight into a championship house someone else built. She's not the architect, not the engine, not the foundation. She's the tenant, showing up after the sweat is spent, rearranging the furniture, and bragging like the whole design was hers all along.
She's got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky.
The Sky doomed themselves the moment they drafted Angel Reese. They didn't just buy a ticket to the Angel Reese show. They bought front row season seats to every dramatic exit and every I'm not feeling it moment. And let's be honest, if she ever did throw in the towel, it'd probably take 4 attempts just to land it anywhere near the court. Reese plays basketball for one person only, herself. Not her teammates, not the fans, and definitely not the franchise. She's chasing attention, endorsement deals, interviews, and Instagram likes. The second things get tough, poof, she's gone. Caitlin Clark is the exact opposite. You see it in every possession. Clark doesn't need to scream for the spotlight. She creates it by hitting the shots that make arenas erupt. Reese, meanwhile, is in the corner checking if the lighting's right for her post-game outfit pick. One rookie is busy building a legacy. The other is busy building a brand and praying nobody catches the difference.
You threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons.
Let's talk leadership for a minute. Real leaders shoulder the blame when things fall apart and spread the credit when things go right. Angel Reese. She's allergic to accountability. You'll never hear her say, "That one's on me." Instead, it's a whole lot of shrugs and side-eye, like the fault always lies with everyone else. But when your entire plan is to ride coattails, of course you can't admit you're the one slowing the horse down. Chicago needs a builder, not a passenger. Reese has made it clear, she's a permanent passenger. She craves the perks, the spotlight, the parade float. What she doesn't crave are the 6 a.m. workouts or the film sessions that actually create champions. And the wild part, she'll still get more headlines for quitting than most players get for winning. That's the upside of being a brand before ball player. The coverage never stops, whether you show up or not. The thing about quitting twice is simple. It stops being a mistake and starts becoming your resume. Walk out once. Maybe it's a story. Walk out twice. That's your identity. At this point, Angel Reese isn't just inconsistent. She's the WNBA's Houdini. The great disappearing act. Except without the mystery, without the magic, and without anyone being surprised anymore.
Listen, Angel Reese has thrown in the towel. She refuses to travel with the team. Once again, the team has a road game. We already saw she refused to travel with the team to Indiana versus the Fever. Now they head to Connecticut to take on the worst team in the league. Yes, they finally win against a team that is worse than them, the Connecticut Sun.